Hi, first grade. It's Mrs. McCosco. I have another wonderful story to share with you today. It's called Madeline Finn and the Library Dog. And once again, I'm sharing this book with you on a program called Epic. What's wonderful about this is that I can let you see all of the beautiful illustrations and you can also read the words right along with me. We're looking right now at the front cover of the book, and here's the author, Lisa Papp. Her name is at the bottom. And we're going to get started reading this book. We're going to hear from the girl in the story whose name is Madeline Finn, and she's telling us the story from her perspective. So we're going to get started by turning the page. Let me make this a little bit smaller so we can turn the page and you can see the whole page. So once again, I'll read this to you going left to right, and you can look at these beautiful illustrations. This is a brand new book that we just got into the library right before we had our little bit of a break. So it'll be there waiting for you when you return. So this story begins from Madeline Finn's perspective. She's telling us the story. And she starts off by saying, I do not like to read, not books, not magazines, not even the menu on the ice cream truck. And I especially do not like to read out loud. Keep trying, Madeline Finn, my teacher says. But sometimes I can't figure out the words. Sometimes the sentences get stuck in my mouth like peanut butter. And sometimes people giggle when I make a mistake. And I never get a star sticker from my teacher, not even a smiley face. Instead, I get a heart that says, keep trying. I get a lot of keep trying stickers, but I want the star. Stars are for good readers. Stars are for understanding words and for saying them out loud. But I know what else they're for. Stars are for making wishes. So I make a wish for my very own star. I guess wishes take a while because I don't get my star on Monday or Tuesday. Keep trying, my teacher tells me on Wednesday. On Thursday, I say the frog's name wrong. It's Samuel. I try to get away with Sam, but it doesn't work. Friday is no better. On Saturday, Mom takes me to the library. Hello, Madeline Finn, Mrs. Dimple says. She's our librarian. I don't like to read, I remind her in case she forgot. Oh, I remember, she says. But today we have something special, something you might enjoy. Let's turn the page and see what this something special at the library is. Madeline Finn, would you like to read to a dog? And this is probably my favorite illustration in the book. Look at all these cute dogs that Madeline has a choice to read to. And a couple of them remind me of my dog Max over here on the page. Let's turn our page. Mrs. Dimple leads me over to a big white dog. This is Bonnie. Why don't you pick out a book to read to her? She's a great listener. Bonnie is beautiful, like a big snowy polar bear. Would you like to try? Mom asks. Yes, please, I say, but not very loud. At first, I'm nervous, and then I get the letters mixed up. The words don't sound right. But then I look at Bonnie, and she looks right into my eyes. She doesn't giggle. I feel better. I try again. Halfway through, I get stuck on another word. Bonnie doesn't mind. She puts her big paws in my lap and lets me pet her until I figure it out. After that, Bonnie and I read together every Saturday. It's fun to read when you're not afraid of making mistakes. Bonnie teaches me that it's okay to go slow and to keep trying, just like the sticker says. I still don't have a star, but I can be patient, like Bonnie. Soon it's almost time to read again in class, but when I go to the library, Bonnie's not there. Neither is Mrs. Dimple. Would you like to wait for another dog? The other librarian asks. No, thank you, I say as politely as I can. Don't worry, Mum tells me later. Bonnie was just busy today. But what about school? I ask. You'll do fine, she says. Just pretend you're reading to Bonnie. On Monday morning, I'm very nervous. Madeline Finn, would you like to read next? The teacher asks. Yes, please, I say, but still not very loud. The first sentence goes pretty well. Then I mess up a word, and then another. I hear someone giggle. But then I think about Bonnie. I take a deep breath and I pretend she's right next to me. Next thing I know, I'm at the bottom of the page. I look at my teacher and she has a big smile on her face. I did it! I got my star. On Saturday, we go to the library again. Mrs. Dimple is back. I got my star. I tell her, I want to give it to Bonnie. Well done, Madeline Finn, she says. I think Bonnie might have a surprise for you, too. Let's turn the page and see what the surprise is. Madeline Finn, would you like to read to Bonnie and her puppies? So that's why Bonnie wasn't at the library the previous week. She had puppies. And our last page. Yes, please, I say nice and loud. So, boys and girls, not only does this story tell us a little bit about the importance of reading aloud, it also tells us a little bit about how important it is just to overcome those fears. So, what I want you to do is I want you to spend 2 to 3 minutes sometime this week. It doesn't have to be today, but I want you to read out loud. I want you to read out loud to a pet. Read out loud to a stuffed animal. Read out loud to mom, dad, brother, sister, anybody who's a good listener. You can use any book that you have at home. You can use a magazine, newspaper, anything that you have. I just want you to spend some time reading out loud to someone or something. I know you've been doing a lot of reading from home, but a lot of that's reading in our head. So I want you just to spend 2 or 3 minutes reading out loud. And then I'm going to ask you if you can, this is not a requirement, but if you want to and if you can have an adult take a picture of you reading out loud to your animal, your stuffed animal, to a dog, to a pet, to a brother, sister, and just share it with me. So if you take a look right here, here's a picture. This is my daughter, Jenna. She's reading a book out loud to our dog, Max. This is the book Rocket. So if you're able to, and you have an adult's help, you can take a picture of yourself reading out loud to a pet or brother, sister, or a stuffed animal, whoever you're reading it to, and just share it with me with email. And I have my email address in the directions for this week's lesson. And if you do, and if you are able to share a picture with me, I'll take some of these pictures and I'll share them on our morning announcements. So everybody gets to see some pictures of you reading aloud and doing your practice. So I can't wait to see some of those pictures. But remember, it's not a requirement. You do not have to send me a picture of you reading out loud. You can do it if you have some help with mom and dad. I would love to see it. So you don't have to send me a picture, but you do have to spend 2 or 3 minutes sometime this week reading out loud. Happy reading, my Hoover friends. I'll see you soon. Bye.